There's absolutely no way to tell how the story of Boruto is unfolding. Each chapter gives us so many new possibilities and unexpected turns, making sure it keeps us on our toes. So, let's go through the chapter 17 together. Before anything, where the hell did Jura get money from? He's way too young to get employed, and even Shinobi World should have some child protection laws. While you're trying to answer that, let's start at the beginning. Chapter opens with Sarada thinking about what Sumire said, caught in her feelings, thinking if what she did was right or not, setting the scene for the entire chapter. Mitsuki picks up on that, and if one thing is clear, is that you don't want to be distressed before facing two humanoid Shinju and leaving entire mission in jeopardy. Like her, Yodo and Araya also go into some small bickering, with Konohamaru telling them to focus on the mission at hand. So, there's sparks all over the place. We see Matsuri and Ryu investigate Kashin's toad, where we get the first interesting info, which is Matsuri can hear the trees. No need for meds, as this aligns with the shinobi cards that hinted that Moegi was able of utilizing wood style. So, it seems Matsuri is able to utilize some sensory ability to gain information from the roots and plants, something Ryu apparently can't, meaning it's her specialty. This establishes her as a sensory type, so our group needed to act fast. And they did. Konohamaru, Sarada, and Mitsuki went to approach them, where Araya and Yodo stayed back. Them staying back is important, so keep this in mind, as Matsuri knows them, and if she saw them, their cover would be blown. Our team approaches them casually and in a friendly manner. Why that's the case is explained in a flashback. Shikamaru is still in contact with Kashin Koji, as evident from the toad on his back, forwarding information about thorn soul bulbs and how they're crucial to defeat the Shinju and save the ones they captured, to Konohamaru. Konohamaru questions where he got this information, but Shikamaru refuses to tell him and he doesn't press further. During this conversation, we get the second crucial and unexpected information. The Shinju aren't intrinsically evil, just confused and following their instinct, just like newly born offspring of wild beasts. Based on that, Shikamaru devised a master plan. The group will befriend them, separate Ryu and Matsuri, and then betray them. In Shikamaru's own words, this isn't something Naruto would do, but he isn't Naruto, showing again why he's the right person for the role. This whole situation also makes everything a tad more morally gray. Shinju aren't inherently evil, and our group will take advantage of that. Though, their defeat is the only way of saving their loved ones. We switch back to development in the desert where our trio approached the Shinju, and to surprise of everyone, Matsuri didn't jump at Konohamaru's throat, like Hidari did to Sarada, but instead started blushing and got lost for words, caught in romantic feelings. This might indicate that Shinju take over the personality and strongest emotions of their targets, which manifest in interesting ways as they're still newborns, a blank page. Moegi kept her love for Konohamaru suppressed, Matsuri didn't. Sasuke was confused on why Sarada wanted him to save Boruto, but didn't question it. Hidari, still being confused because of Sarada, went straight at her to get some answers. Our trio introduces themselves and offers to join the Shinju in search for Boruto. The Shinju don't disagree and let them help, which shows that they aren't as smart as they might appear, or rather, they're very naive, exactly like a newborn might be. This naiveness gets Sarada and Mitsuki to take Ryu away from Matsuri, who stays behind with Konohamaru. Ryu even offers praise to the Konoha shinobi, saying Jura respects them, something that will surely be important in the future. Ryu is taken to Araya and Yodo for him to be slayed, where Konohamaru takes advantage of Matsuri's feelings for him and has her wait with him. Chapter switches to Ada, who Kashin Koji is using to monitor the situation, and then immediately to Boruto and Kashin Koji. Now the plot thickens as Boruto asks Kashin what's the chance they fail, and he answers it isn't high. Surprisingly, Boruto calls him out on his bullshit and tells him not to lie. He doesn't answer but emphasizes that Boruto isn't supposed to go and help them, ending his thought that he's the one thing they cannot lose. To me, this is pretty much a confirmation that at least one person is dying. As suspected from previous chapter, Kashin Koji is hiding a lot from Boruto, so he doesn't try and help everyone and change the future for the worse. Kashin Koji is prepared to make sacrifices for a better future. But it's interesting to see Boruto isn't naive and seems to be aware of that. This makes Kashin Koji a lot more morally gray. The end justifies the mean type beat and Boruto more realistic. With this information and Shinju separated, I think it's quite clear that Sand Squad will succeed, but not without casualties. If I was to take a guess, Ryu is getting defeated, but at least one of the good guys is dying. I think Araya might pull a short one as his dynamic with Yodo isn't the most suitable for a mission of this level, and Sarada isn't completely concentrated either. When Matsuri hears that Ryu is engaged in a battle, she's sure to go after Konohamaru, despite her feelings for him. So, he's likely the one to get devoured also. Ryu is getting defeated to save Gaara, and Konohamaru is getting devoured for us to see what happens with Shinju after they devour their target, with Araya possibly dying during the initial scuffle. The chapter switches once again, with Jura buying books in the bookshop. Shikamaru tells everyone not to engage, exactly as Kashin Koji instructed him in the previous chapter, and to surprise of everyone, Jura buys the books. So, if you manage to figure out how he got the money, let me know in the comments. P.S. From all the lies told in this chapter, this was undoubtedly the biggest. For last, the chapter ends with Amado and Kawaki. Kawaki politely takes his cigarette out before nailing him to the wall and demanding that he rescinded his limiters, where the chapter ends. Now, if one thing is clear about Amado, he's always 2 steps ahead, and he's aware that Kawaki was going to meet him. The question is, will he use the shutdown code, or rescind his limiters? If it's the later, I wouldn't put it past Kawaki to attack Jura as soon as he does, which might lead to destruction of Konoha we saw in the first chapter. That is rather fast approaching. But either way, one thing is for sure. The last time someone did something like that to Amado, it didn't end well for them, and it for sure won't end well for Kawaki, as either way this plays out, Amado is coming out on top. Despite its seemingly laid-back progression, this chapter has been full of wild revelations and unexpected twists. The idea of taking advantage of Shinju, befriending them and killing them, does make our cast more morally gray, especially Shikamaru and Kashin Koji, the masterminds behind all of this. Not being inherently evil, respecting Konoha Shinobi and accepting their help adds new layers of depth to the Shinju, and I'm starting to like them a lot more than they were first introduced. The romance from Sarada, Yodo, and Matsuri are sure to play an important role in the story soon, and will likely have fatal consequences for both sides. Where the last development between Amado and Kawaki will force Amado to reveal his next cards that I've been waiting for ages. All in all, this was an amazing setup chapter, and the next 3 chapters that wrap all that is being set up can't come soon enough.